Welcome, everybody, to our virtual gratitude luncheon for CADA'S mentor program. And even though we're virtual today, this event is so important to this vital program of CADA. And for those that don't know, our mentor program matches at-risk youth from ages 8 through 14 with caring, trained adult mentors. And so very often, these mentor-mentee matches are life-changing for both the mentee and the mentor. So today we're going to take you on a little bit of a journey through our mentor program, what we've been through this last year. We've got a couple of great musical guests that are stopping by, a beautiful interview with Rona Barrett, and we will be awarding our Mentor of the Year. So we're just thrilled that you're here today. To help welcome you all, we have one of our CADA angels who's standing by, Ann Tobes. Ann is not only the chair of this event, she is also the founder of the Gratitude Luncheon and looking beautiful this afternoon. Hi, Ann.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm so happy to welcome you to our 10th annual Gratitude Luncheon, even though this year we are celebrating virtually. I've been involved in CADA'S mentor program ever since KEYT hosted the Mentor Telethon 24 years ago. Since then, CADA has created over 2,000 mentor-mentee matches that continue to make a huge difference for many vulnerable young people. It is said that if a child has even one person who believes in him or her, their chance of achieving success in life is greatly increased. The idea for the Gratitude Luncheon came from a good friend of mine, entrepreneur and businessman Walter Green. After retiring, Walter listed all the people who influenced him in his life, and then spent a year visiting them to tell them of his gratitude. And he wrote a book about his travels called This Is the Moment. I know each of you can think of people in your life that you are grateful for. One of the people on top of my list is our keynote speaker, Rona Barrett, best known as Mrs. Hollywood. But to me, she's best known as my very good friend. I'm excited for you to hear about some of the mentors who helped Rona throughout her interesting and influential life. So thank you again for attending our Gratitude Luncheon. Your continued support of CADA'S mentor program is what I am the most grateful for. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. And I do remember that very first gratitude luncheon, too. And I'm sure a lot of people out there as well do. By the way, keep those wonderful comments coming. And yes, we agree. Ann looks beautiful this afternoon. So yes, we all do need mentors in our lives. And so many of our mentors that have been with our program over the last 17 years are out there today. Many of them sent in their photos of themselves with their mentees as well. So as you take a look at some of these photos of our mentee-mentor matches over the years, we thought it would be really wonderful to pair that with music. And when we think music, we think of our favorite musician friend in Santa Barbara. How lucky are we to have Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Michael McDonald as a dear friend of CADA and our programs. And he joins us today getting ready to get out on the road with his Doobie Brother pals in July, fingers crossed, but he is never too busy to lend his time to CADA. So here he is, Michael McDonald. Hi, Mike.
Thanks, Catherine, and thank all of you who are watching in support of CADA'S mentor program. Such an important program to our community that reaches out to at-risk youth and seeks to partner them with an adult who's willing to give them the time it takes to show young people the ropes and give them the living skills they need to move forward in their lives. So for all of you, I'm going to do a song I think is appropriate by Bill Withers. If you know the words, by all means, help us sing along. There's times in our life we all have pain, we all have sorrow. if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your strength. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have strength, you need to borrow. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother. You need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem. You understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So just call me, 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 call me.
Thank you, Michael. That was absolutely incredible and so touching to see those mentor-mentee photographs as well. Those are only some of the representation of our over 2,000 matches we've had over the last 17 years. And just so you know, the benefits of our mentor-mentee matches are remarkable. The kids are seeing increased grades. They are more likely to stay away from drugs and alcohol. They're far more likely to go to college when they have a mentor. And one of our favorite comments comes from teachers who know kids that are in the mentor program. They say they're kinder to their peers at school. And we'll have more information about how you can actually become a mentor later this afternoon. All right, it's been a difficult year for a lot of people. It's been a really difficult year for the mentees in our mentor-mentee program. They've been isolated. Up until recently, they've been out of school. A lot of our mentees are from single-parent homes. They've had parents that have actually lost their jobs. So these mentor-mentee matches have become all the more vital this last year. To take a look at how our mentor program really rose above all of this last year and what we did during the pandemic, I'm going to turn things over to the executive director of our mentor program, Lisa Godchen, who is standing by. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you all for attending today. It has been challenging not having our youth in a regular school setting during these COVID times, but it has not deterred our CADA mentors to step up to the challenge. The CADA mentors have met with their mentees via Zoom, FaceTime, texting, and using the old-fashioned phone, and meeting in person, masked and walking on the beach, parks, and taking hikes. We have had Zoom pizza parties, and the youth have been sent gift cards for lodging into school and just trying. COVID has been kind to the mentor program with many inquiries. mentor orientations via Zoom, and over 10 new matches, bringing the program to almost 90 mentors and 90 mentees. I am so proud not only of the previous mentors, but of those that have stepped up during this time and made a match. Without the mentors, their dedication and creativity, this would have been a different outcome for our youth. During this time, referrals have continued to be received from schools, and our need for mentors is year-round. I want to mention one very special event that happened during the holidays. Not able to have either the summer barbecue or the winter festival, working with Raul Gil, the owner of El Zarape, we were able to serve 110 mentees and their families with curbside pickup of enchiladas, rice, beans, chips, and salsa. The mentee youth also received a bag full of goodies. Thank you again for attending. As schools are reopening, more referrals will be received, and your donations will help support our mentees.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you for reminding us of the importance of mentors in our lives, and particularly through this last year. I want to say a special hi and keep those nice comments coming. Heidi Hollander, thank you for your comments. Bob and Patty Bryant out there, and also Sophia Taylor and many others. So let's keep that good energy going this afternoon. Well, now you are in for a treat. Over the last 9 years that we've been having our mentor luncheon, we always have a keynote speaker, and this year we have somebody that is very special in a little bit different of a format. We had a chance to sit down recently and talk with Rona Barrett. Of course, Rona was the original entertainment reporter on the Today Show, and later a senior correspondent for Entertainment Tonight. She was known as Miss Rona in her day, and she is such a wonderful energy. Lucky for our community, as many people have, she moved to Santa Barbara County in the mid-90s. She makes her home in San Ynez Valley now, and has turned this part of her life to dedicate herself to low-income seniors. And she has opened the Golden Inn and Village in San Ynez, where she has 150 low-income seniors, many dealing with Alzheimer's. She sat down and talked with us about the power of mentoring, mentors that she had in her life, and people that she mentored herself. So take a look at the interview. I hope that you enjoy. Rona, first of all, I really want to begin sincerely telling you that as a young girl growing up in the 60s and 70s and being interested in media, you were a mentor to me. There weren't a lot of women in media in then a very male-dominated workforce. So thank you for being my mentor, one of my mentors, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Catherine, no one has a voice like you. I mean, really. I mean, it's so distinctive that, I try to copy you, but I can't.
Well, here's one of the things that I loved about watching you when you were interviewing. I loved how bold you were. I loved how you made people relaxed when you were interviewing them, and that you would just ask any question. And you just had such a wonderful way of interviewing. Do you ever miss it, those days?
Not always. I mean, when I moved to the Santa Ynez Valley, I said to my husband at the time, I said, we got to get out of Dodge. The time has come. I said, I don't think I can do one more bit of news and one more interview. I just don't have it in me anymore. And he said, well, whatever you want to do, let's do it. And so here we are.
Here you are.
And here we are, almost 30 years later, 30 years plus now.
Wow.
And
well, I really want to talk to you about what you've created here, but I want to just go back first a little bit, because we're talking about mentors. And I know you didn't have the easiest childhood in some ways, and yet you turned that into a strength. So talk a little bit about that, and who were your early mentors?
I know it's difficult for many people to believe that I was born with in those days they called it a handicap. And today we have different words for people who have disabilities. And so I was born with a handicap that is now a disability and has been all my life. Only nobody knew really what it was. I was born with a lot of weakness in my body and in my legs in particular. And my mother started to take me to every doctor because I was 9 months old when she first noticed that I kept dragging my legs when I tried to get up in the crib, and it was really difficult. And as I was 2 years old or something, and she had me down in the street and was trying to walk with me, maybe with her carriage or something, and a wind came along, it just knocked me on the floor, and I couldn't get up, and I couldn't walk up one step. I still can't to this day.
Does it have a name now?
After many years of being taken to some of the best doctors that this country ever had in terms of neurological, muscular kind of problems, my mother, we were not rich people, but she managed to get me to some doctor, and they said, we just don't know. And then once we saw something, my mother saw something in the newspapers, and they were looking for young children who had weaknesses in their muscles or something. And my mother said, I'm taking you to this doctor. And he was in Manhattan, and we lived in Queens. And so that's another story. But anyway, I became a guinea pig. I was one of the children picked. And so every single week, something else was happening to me. It was either an injection, a pill, or this or that, doctors touching you, doctors feeling you, doctors, all kinds of things, blood tests, urine tests, everything. And one day I said to my mother, and I was now, I think I was 10, I said, I am going to no more doctors. That's it. I'm finished. I've had it. I don't want it. And we were out on one of the big Manhattan pretty places near the Queensboro Bridge, and where the hospital was, and I said, just not going back. And she said, oh, yes, you will. You will go wherever I tell you to go, as long as there's breath in my life. I am going to tell you what to do until I find out what's wrong with you. And I said, that may be what you want to do, but that's not what I want to do.
Well, you know what I love about this story is it is so you. This is who you are. The tenacity, the perseverance, the I'm going to do this, and you're still that person 70 years later. I mean, and it's just an incredible journey. So early on, you know, with the Today Show and Good Morning America and Entertainment Tonight and the battles of being a woman on the air, was there someone at that point that was a mentor for you? Because it sort of sounds like early on it was your parents, but then in this part of your life where your career was really taking off, was there somebody that you looked up to that helped you, that, as we're talking about mentors?
If I'm to look at, when I think about it, when you ask me that question right now, what I think about is at different steps. There most definitely were people, and they were just wonderful women who were older than I was. They were as old as my mother. They really became what I call my angels on earth. And the first one, I went to get a job while I was in college at New York University, and I went to one of those places where you go get jobs, and they said, you know, there's a woman who's looking for an assistant, part-time, and she's a manager and an editor of a lot of magazines. And I said, I'll take the job. She said, she said, here's the card, make an appointment and see her. And I did. Her name was Bessie Little. And Bessie Little, she was one of the first women that really broke the crystal ceiling, so to speak, because at that time she managed like 35 different magazines, all by herself with a staff. You know, we all had desks like that, and I was the desk right in front of her office. And then she said to me when I went to this for the interview, she says, I hope you have no intention of being a writer or wanting to do this sort of work. And I said, oh, no, it's just a way for me to make a little money. You know, I'm going to New York University and blah, 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 blah. And she said, okay, you can start, you can have the job. And 3 weeks later, I come back, I had my lunch, and then I went into the office. And on my desk, there was a stack of brown lines. You know what a brown line is? It's one of the stages in editing that you take care of everything and make it clean and nice, and so everything would be spelled correctly, and the grammar would be right, and the periods and you know, everything were perfect. And she said, here, you fix this. If you think there's something wrong here with blah, 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 and this one and that one. I said, I thought you said you weren't going to teach me how to do this stuff. And she said, you can do it.
I love that.
And the next thing I knew is I sort of became like an associate editor.
And that pioneer spirit that you've always had. I want to ask you something, because you were the original entertainment reporter.
Right.
I mean, before Barbara Walters, TMZ, all these other things that we see now. And you obviously knew that you were on to something. Do you think in any way it's come too far now with where we are in entertainment news?
About the TMZs and all the other programs that were around, Entertainment Tonight, they're never serious. They're never really serious. I don't watch them, so I can't even say if they've matured. But I will say this, for somebody like TMZ, they have some people there who are lawyers, the guy who runs it sort of, and they would know, they would all he was a former journalist. But it's nothing like what we were trying to do when I was doing it. And I certainly changed also during that period.
How so?
I just saw the importance of people getting to know not just the movie stars, but the interesting thing is my whole background regarding interviewing was like, why did they want to get to where they are today? Who are they really? What makes them really tick?
So all that you've created here with your Golden Inn and Village and your vision of creating this, it actually was something that your father created for you, this shift in what you were doing. Do you mind sharing that story?
My father's name was Harry. And Harry came from Europe. He was a man who just loved the world, and he had a market, and he was in the grocery business. And I always knew that one of them one day, my mother or father, were going to leave, and whoever was left, I knew I had to take care of, or the way they would come and live with me. There was no other way. So when my mother passed, my father did come to live with me, and every day I took him out to a different restaurant in the afternoon. I mean, for almost 5, 6 years of the 10 years that he lived with me, I had him out always wanting to take him somewhere, take him where he could be with other people, see what life was all about. And I came home one day, and he was getting to be a little forgetful, but not a lot. And we think he was about 96 years, well, he was about 92 at the time, or just 90, I don't know, it's somewhere in there. And I came up to have lunch with him one day from my office where I was doing the lavender business. And I said, "Hi, Dad, how are you?" And that's what he did. He looked at me, and then he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Daddy, I'm Rona." "I don't know any Ronas. Get out of here. Get out of here." And I came and I tried to put my arms around him to stop him from being so frantic about this. "Get out of my house. Get out of my house." And that's when I knew. At that moment, I absolutely knew that I had to do something for seniors and for others who were in a similar situation.
Did you know much about Alzheimer's at the time, or was this?
I knew
little-
something about
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, but I didn't believe that it was what he really had at the moment. I really wasn't sure. But when we got him to the doctors, it was the beginning of all of it.
I hear from what you're saying that you had a lot of mentors along the way, but you've also been a mentor yourself to others.
I have, because I always decided that if I can find people smarter than myself, those are the people I need to have around me. And I must tell you, as far as I'm concerned, my years, nearly 40 years on television, I had some of the best people whom I taught how to be producers, directors, editors. You don't know that you're really doing this, but you really are. And all of them wound up with wonderful jobs. They may have been making $6 an hour when they worked for me, but when they got to be where they were, they suddenly they were making 6 figures. And that was a wonderful thing to see, that so many of them succeeded. But I was the lucky one. I was the lucky one because they, in many ways, as far as I'm concerned, they taught me a lot of things too.
I think we find that with our mentors. They get so much out of the program as well, being a mentor.
It's really it's wonderful, and I'm so grateful.
Would you say that this is the best time of your life?
I would have to say this is the best thing I've also done with my life, and I think it's one of the best moments in my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I just wish that this pandemic was all over, and I wish that we all could be back to some form of normality. But I still want my seniors to be very happy. It's a wonderful feeling to walk into the Golden Inn and Village and see so many smiling faces, happy. They didn't think they'd be this happy. They didn't think they'd have a social life. They didn't think they'd have another life. But unfortunately, this year has made it very difficult. But we've managed to get through it, and we're going to keep getting through it. But you really can have a very good life and continuing. And I hope that we can continue to make this true for everyone else. And I hope that I will be able to at least help some other people build other kinds of golden inns and villages, and that's why I called it the Golden Inn. I wanted people to know what their golden years were going to be all about. I wanted them to feel it and touch it in reality and not anywhere else. I think our place is very beautiful to go into and feel warm and comfortable, And that's what everybody comes and tells me when I'm there.
Well, you have definitely created that. Rona, I could sit and talk with you all day long. We're going to
the
wrap
brain's
things up
gone.
here a little bit, but before we do, because we're talking to a lot of people this afternoon that are already mentors through the CADA Mentor Program, which matches our kids from 3rd grade through 8th grade. But beyond just those kind of mentors, being a mentor in life, if somebody has the capacity to be a mentor, what would be your message to them if they were able to be a mentor?
Take the best of the knowledge that you have and make it work for others, or by showing them. Telling them is not the only thing to do, because telling is one thing. There are many people who really understand what's going on, but visually need to experience it. And just speaking to them is not always the right thing for them. But if you have a certain specific idea, a thought, a wish, express it. Take it out there. Show people how it can be.
Rona, thank you so much. Here's to a brighter 2021. I think it's happening. Thank you for sharing about your mentors and being a mentor for so many people, including myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You are still as delightful and as wonderful as I've always known you from the day I met you. So thank you so much, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to thank Rona for allowing us into her beautiful home, and also for those words and your wonderful spirit. Thank you so much. All right, it is time now to award our Mentor of the Year. This is always a very hard call, and personally, I'm glad it's not my call. But this year, we have somebody oh so special and deserving. And to make that announcement, I would like to introduce our Executive Director, Dr. Scott Whiteley, who is standing by. Hi, Scott.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Rona, for being here. Your very presence and your words are empowering in a time when we all need inspiration. And thank you, Anne, for founding this great event 10 years ago and keeping it dynamic on behalf of the many young people who benefit from the life-changing experience of having a mentor. And to all of you joining us today, we are deeply grateful for your support of our mentor program, which is fostering critical thinking, self-confidence, and motivation in local children and their families. Establishing a foundation for success early in a child's life is at the very heart of CADA'S mission to build strong families and a vibrant community. While all of our mentors are stars, each year we present the Penny Jenkins Mentor Champion Award to one individual in honor of Penny's many years as CADA'S leader and passionate advocate. Our 2021 Mentor of the Year is Bob Kingston, who joined CADA'S Mentor Program when we welcomed 22 mentor-mentee matches from Family Service Agency's former Big Brothers Big Sisters program last year. With a self-proclaimed attitude of gratitude for his own good life, Bob shows us what being a mentor is all about. Congratulations, Bob. Please enjoy this video of Bob and his 15-year-old mentee, Manny, who together are exploring life's many possibilities.
That's a pretty interesting story. We met, they kind of make a match, and you meet Manny and his mother, and they have similar interests, and I'm a real athletic type guy, and Manny wasn't that much into sports, but I really liked his attitude, and partway through I said, Manny, let's go for a walk. And we went for a little walk, and we just clicked, and I said, I'm in.
Just meeting him, because first they're like, oh, here's a person we think is your match, and then you have to meet them, make a connection, stuff like that.
He lit up whenever you talked about fishing. He was watching getting on his phone and doing fishing shows and stuff, so it was a natural choice. Just it's really what he loves to do, and I just encouraged it. I think part of being a mentor in the early stages is you listen and you learn. And I listened and learned and realized that's where his interest was. And when we talked about it, it was something that we could do together and he could do on his own. And he just loves it. And it made a big difference. You know, it's what he loves to do. And I love to watch him do it when he catches stuff.
Yeah, I like fishing. Fishing with Bob it's just like we just wait and then we just like enjoy the view or whatever. Just enjoying like the moment that we have.
He smiles a little quicker, and his smile melts you. I mean, he got a great smile, as you can see. And he just becomes slowly more confident, more outgoing, and just more and more fun to be around. You know, he was pretty reserved when we first met. And so it was a learning experience for me how to draw that out. I think in being a good mentor, a lot of what you do in the beginning is just listen, acknowledge. That's a big deal. And you're not a coach, you're not a teacher. You're just somebody there to acknowledge and get to know them, and then go where that leads you and become somebody that gets them to have a lot of hope in their lives.
He encouraged me to like get better grades because in middle school I didn't like really care for my grades. I just cared about having fun, but like I got more into like getting good grades and being like a better person.
I've mentored 4 other kids and I adopted 2 boys. I've always loved kids, coached kids all my life. And when I was in Rotary, I took on the CADA'S, my project, to work with the mentor program and fell in love with it. In these times, everybody knows kids are really struggling. And I just emphasize to them that it's just becomes someone that listens and validates their feelings, and what a rewarding thing that is to be involved in. It just warms your heart when you do this, you know. Every time I pick him up and that big smile comes down the stairs with that what's he gonna be wearing today? It just lights me up, and we've gotten to know each other, and I think it's so rewarding just to make a difference in somebody's life and be a positive influence. I think we're all trying to do that, and what an opportunity to do it and make a difference. So I'm blessed.
I'd like to thank Bob for helping me be a better person, checking in on me, and just being there when I need him for favors.
I'm looking forward to it, just to see how he's coming, his interest in being there. And you know, I had mentors, and a lot of people have mentors, and it's just to be able to guide and be there and watch him grow and just become the man he's capable of being. And you can see from that smile and the way he looks today, it's happening. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank CADA for making all this possible, and making the award means the world to me. And I encourage anybody else that is thinking about being a mentor, try it. To make a difference in a kid's life is one of the biggest thrills I've ever gotten in my life. It just makes the world to me. And looking forward to being in Manny's life for the rest of his life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bob. And I just absolutely loved meeting Manny as well. And yes, we all love that smile. What a special day for you. So once again, congratulations. Our mentor of the year. Of course, a lot of the reason we're here this afternoon is to create awareness for this beautiful mentor program, but also it is to raise funds so we can continue to sustain and even grow the mentor program. So to that end, end, I am going to hand things over to a dear friend of ours at CADA. He's a very busy man, so we appreciate him being here this afternoon and always makes us laugh and smile. It is the CEO of the Santa Barbara City College Foundation, Jeff Green. And Jeff, you know what I'm going to do, my friend? I am going to throw the ball to you.
Hey, look at that. These are the tricks we learn in the COVID world. Thank you so much, Catherine. Just a tennis ball's toss away from you over here. We're at Merrill Brown's beautiful home where we're broadcasting to you live. Yes, and we have a small but mighty live audience right here. So here's what we're going to do. You know by this point in the show what we're going to be asking for, why we're going to be asking for it, but I'll just remind you again, and I want to thank everybody. Congratulations to Bob. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, everybody who's made this possible. We are here to raise dollars, and we're here to make sure that this mentorship program can go on and on and on. You may have heard about 90 mentors right now matched up with mentees, over 2,000 over the last 17 years of the program. So that is a lot of wonderful relationships created, many of them becoming lifelong friendships. What we're here to do is make sure that that can continue on for our 3rd to 8th graders who need this, who want this, who embrace this, and all those mentors who step forward. It costs about $1,500 a year to make that happen. So we're here just to make sure that the dollars come in. I want to thank those of you. Some of you are way ahead of me, and I got a screen right here. If you're not familiar with Paybe, just look right over here on your screen. There's a button. I'm going to give you a number, but whatever number you want, you can put that in too. And we're going to give you a big shout out, lots of cheers from here, and we're going to see how much money we can raise to make sure that the mentorship program goes on and on and on. So with that, first I want to thank you folks that are way ahead of me, and you're usually way ahead of me. Mary Beth Carty, Tim Cohen, Teresa Brown, we got Joe Saxon. I know the Saxons are online. I saw the chat earlier. We've got Katie Sopa, thank you so much. We've got Lenmark Block, we've got Gordon Guy. Just all these folks. That's right. Here's the cheering section right here. I'm still holding the ball, right? Look at this. All right, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. We're going to show a number on the screen. We're going to start up at the $2,500 level, and I'm going to ask you to give. It's going to show up right here. If you do, we're going to give you a big shout out, a round of applause. It's the virtual world, so there's a little bit of a delay here, so go ahead and do your thing. We're looking for $2,500 from Anonymous, so we got to start right there. Let's give a big hand to Anonymous. Whoever you are, thank you. That gratitude, I hope you can feel it even through your screen. So $2,500 given right there. Thank you so much. We got Sally Green gave again. Karen, thank you so much. Karen, my old colleague at SBCC. This is lovely. Anyone else want to join $2,500? $2,500? It's kind of like an auction, but we're just selling you the good stuff, the good work of CADA. So $2,500, and we'll change this in a minute. I was going to say going once, going twice. The truth is you can give at any moment, and you know that. 24/7, 365. You can text, you can call Catherine, you can show up and knock at her door and say, I want to give you money. She generally says yes, at least that's my experience. Anybody else at $2,500? If not $2,500, at least not right now, that's okay. We're going to go next down. Actually, I want to shout out Earl Minnis. Earl's not right here online with us today, but he gave $1,500. So a big shout out to Earl. We know this. Thank you for communicating that to us. We're going to go to 1,000, and Diana McFarland is right ahead of me right there. Thank you, Diana. That's wonderful. $1,000 gifts. This nearly pays for the entirety of a single match. Of course, this is the training for the mentors, the travel, the summer activities, all the things that go into creating these relationships. Again, many of which last well beyond. And our very favorite Ann Tobes. Thank you so much, Ann. Another $1,000 gift right there. This is what makes this happen. You can see it across the top. Oh, thank you, Jan. To Jan Ingram, another gift right there. If you look at that bar across the top, you'll see a number up there. This is how we're doing, so you get a sense of what you're a part of here. So anyone else at $1,000? We're looking for another $1,000 gift. Anybody else at $1,000? I'm going to just sit here and do the patter thing for a minute. We got this little virtual reality delay thing. I'm going to say stuff that's really meaningless for a few minutes, and now I'm going to toss the ball. But no, I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to $500. And I want to tell you that at $500, the home in which we currently reside, broadcasting to you live with this lovely fireside chat, and me in the corner. They usually put me in the corner. That's okay. This is Merrill Brown has made a gift in honor of her mentor, John F. Daly, a friend of many of ours. So thank you so much, Merrill. Who else at $500? Let's see. I'm going to look at the screen here. We got gifts from John. We got gifts from Jan. We got gifts from Kanta. This is fabulous. Keep it coming. $500 is again about a third of what it takes for one of these matches to come together. And again, this is something the work's been going on for 17 years. We want to keep it going. And you've heard just a handful of those stories. Again, over 2,000 stories of what happens when mentors and mentees get together. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. Again, you can change your mind. You can come back at $100,000. I wouldn't stop you. You can put it right here through the Paybe system. system. You can do it tomorrow. You can do it the next day. You can text it. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, we're going to go on to $250. Oh, we got 500 right there. Thank you so much. The Bryants, Bob and Patty, thank you so much for all you've done for this organization over these many years. How about we go to 250? Who wants to come in at 250? I saw so many of these early gifts. John right there at 250, folks that signed on early at 250. But right now we're going to ask you, we're going to push that number. You notice it's hovering just below $10,000. So that next big push will get you to the 5-digit number. We're going to go to that to see that number at the top of your screen there. Who wants to come in at $250? Anyone at $250? Again, to keep it. There we go. We got Heidi Hollander. Thank you so much. All right, we're over the $10,000 mark, but that doesn't mean we don't want to get to $100,000. So keep going. Anybody else at 250? I got a couple more folks I can tell you. I can tell you that Don Laffler actually pledged $1,000 in advance. Thank you so much to Don for doing that. Gordon Auchincloss, also $1,000 in honor of his brother, Barrett. Again, so many people so generous, and many of them with very personal stories about why this is important. So at 250, anybody else want to come in at $250? And if not, right now, we will go ahead and go on to $100. Again, $100, whatever you can do, put it on that screen, hit that button. You can see it right there. I'm guessing it's right there on your screen. That's what I'm looking at. We want to see the $100 gifts come in. And then, of course, if you have a number that's $48.61 and that's meaningful to you, that is great. We love it. You don't even have to explain yourself, although I'm going to ask you probably if I see it up there. But all right, we're looking for $100. Any pledges at $100? Any pledges at $100? Please go ahead and put them in now into the Paybe system. We got an anonymous at 100. Thank you so much. Person anonymous, we love you for that. Thank you very, very much. Anyone else at $100? Again, you can do this 365. So any day of the year, you can go online to CADA'S.org. CADA'S.org is the place. There's a big donation button right there. We actually have a text to give offering today. If you go to CADA, you can actually text CADA Gratitude. CADA Gratitude, that's C-A-D-A Gratitude, to 44321. It's easy to remember, 44321, and you can do text to give that way. All right, anyone else at 100? I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this right now, Catherine. I'm going to say, if you want to give 100, if you want to give 50, if you want to give 25, if you want to give monthly, all of those things are possibilities. I want you to give yourselves a big hand because we got $10,270 in that raised bar right there. And we know there's other gifts that have been made. And we're so grateful for you to do this with us virtually. I know this is a funny world that we're in right now. We're really looking forward to getting back together with you in real time, in person. And I know it's coming soon. But in the meantime, thank you to everyone who's given today. Thank you for everyone who makes this event possible. And remember, you can give any day of the week, anytime you want. CADA really relies and thrives on that work, especially this mentorship program. So with that, I am going to toss this ball back to you, Catherine.
Ooh, I caught it. Unplanned. Jeff, thank you so much. How lucky is Santa Barbara City College Foundation to have Jeff Green? So a big virtual and live applause for our buddy Jeff Green. Okay, so now you've given to our program. It's a chance for us to give back to you. Thank you to Bob and Patty Bryant. We have a $1,000 gift card to Bryant & Son Jewelers. And believe it or not, it really was a random drawing, folks. But our winner is someone we all know, John Daly. John, congratulations. I hope you spend it on your wife. And thank you for tuning in. All right, we have a wonderful tradition here at our Gratitude Luncheon for teaming up with Teen Star, which is a local talent showcase once a year. It's hard to believe, but it was the last live event that so many of us were at back in February of last year when the beautiful Andy Bromstad actually won. And so we have asked her to come back this year. As she is singing this afternoon, you will see a lot of the mentors that are being honored today by people who have made donations. So thank you. And I can't wait to hear you sing again. Andy's standing by. Andy, hi.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here at the Gratitude Luncheon. Let's talk about mentors. Makes me think of my dad. He's my mentor. I think this song would be appropriate. You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there. I'll reach out. I'll be there with the love that's strong. I'll be your strength. I'll keep on holding on. Let me fill your heart with joy and laughter. Togetherness is all I'm after. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be there to protect you with an unselfish love that respects you, yeah. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be there to comfort you, build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with the love that's strong. I'll be your strength. I'll keep on holding on. You should ever find someone new, know it better be good to you. 'Cause if he isn't, I'll be there. Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Oh, thank you, Andy. That was so beautiful. And I can't wait to see you at next year's Teen Star, because I'm sure we're all going to be gathering together live once again soon. That's our hope anyway. Thank you so much for being here. And oh, wait, hold on. Look who's here.
Just to show this is really live, Catherine, I think we can let folks know that we're really grateful to all the major sponsors that made this possible. Kenny and Elizabeth Slott, thank you so much. Lillian Lovelace, thank you so much. Marcia Constance, Loretta Red. Without you, we couldn't have done this. So thank you.
Thank you again for being here this afternoon and supporting our mentor program. Fingers crossed, we'll see you live next year. Have a great afternoon.